The US will host its third Summit for Democracy, but is it really qualified to do so? According to Yonhap news agency, the so-called Third Summit for Democracy initiated by the Biden administration will be held in South Korea from March 18 to 20. Until today, the dismal results of the first two summits for democracy are still vivid in our minds. Many countries refused to participate. No formal results were produced. Many commitments were made without substantial progress, and they were questioned both in states and abroad. Even the American media is asking, why is such a meaningless summit held a third time? The Summit for Democracy has been criticized by the public since its inception. The Washington Post stated that some U.S. officials and diplomacy scholars believe this is an unwelcome display of U.S. foreign policy in the world. Reuters stated that human rights advocates said there were little evidence that countries participating in the summit have made progress in improving democracy. Many countries around the world refute that the United States should look in the mirror before criticizing other countries' human rights and democracy. Although the first two summits held in the name of democracy invited many countries, they were all carefully screened by the United States. This perfectly proves that the summit is not really for democracy, but to divide the world into two camps and create divisions and confrontations. While vigorously advocating the flawed American democracy, they completely deny other forms of democracy. The United States' hegemonic obsession is clearly exposed. However, democracy should not be about Coca-Cola. The United States produces puree, and the whole world must use the same formula. All roads lead to Rome. There is more than one way to achieve democracy. Whether a country is democratic or not should be judged by its people. In the face of global crisis, what countries around the world need is a unity conference to jointly solve the problems faced by the international community, rather than a so-called democratic summit that promotes confrontation.